Hello everyone, and welcome to a second royal reading today here at MadWorldTarot. A rather chilly Monday evening as I'm doing these readings. I still have the Tarot of the Abyss on the tarot table. It's a very dark tarot, haven't used it in a while. Felt the need today to read with these cards. We've been looking in the previous reading at a rumor about Prince Harry and his mental health struggles, shall we just say. It reminded me of a story that Neil Sean put out a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, about Dôria and how she allegedly films literally everything that Harry does. It was in the context of that trip to Disneyland for Lily's birthday. Lots of photos, videos. Allegedly Dôria was behind the camera filming everything, and the source, there's always a source, allegedly told Neil Sean that Dôria literally films everything that Harry does, and Harry has no idea how much stuff she has caught on film. And basically, this is not what was said, but the implication was basically how bad some of it is. I think the word dangerous Dôria was used, or the expression dangerous Dôria, and I think also ammunition was used. I could be completely wrong, and if I'm misquoting, it was a while back. I do apologize. But anyway, the gist of it is that she just films and films and films, and Harry is blissfully unaware of what is being recorded. We assume not his finest moments being recorded. So we're going to have a look at this now in as I say, it's a day of dipping into Harry and what trouble he might be in. I think we can all agree that he's not living his best life at the moment, even if Meghan is living her best life on Instagram. So that's the context of what I'm looking at. Going to look at their relationship, how Dôria views Harry. I'm going to ask if she really is filming anything. This is, of course, a rumor that we're checking energy-wise, and if she is filming, what has she captured? And we're going to ask if Harry is aware of any of this, and how much he trusts Dôria. And we're going to ask if any of the stuff will be used at any stage, say in a divorce or a custody battle or something like that, and how would it reflect on Harry, would it impact him. So that's what we're looking at. It's tricky territory, so I need to say that this is just tarot, and it is for entertainment purposes, and it is all my opinion, and it is all speculation. I read energy, I look at the energy around stories like this. This is a rumor, this is a big fat allegedly sign all over this. Good, I've got the energy I need. And there is, of course, a disclaimer in the box below, and please read it, please do your own research, please form your own conclusions. And again, allegedly is switched on here and flashing brightly across the screen as you watch this tarot reading. So I think we've said everything we need to say. We're going to look at this rumor that there's a whole lot going on that Harry might not be that aware of. Two of Wands in reverse is our underlying energies, plans, and it's a partnership. He looks a bit worse for wear, this character in the Two of Wands, interestingly. It's a very dark tarot, this Tarot of the Abyss. And partnership, interesting wands can be, flames and fire and smoking, whatevers and things like that. We know Dôria is a fan of various substances, one in particular, shall we say allegedly, and it might be a shared pastime, her and Harry, allegedly. It's in reverse, tells me that there could be a partnership around these kinds of substances that is quite toxic and quite negative, and there might be plans and schemes afoot that Harry isn't aware of. So I'm getting an energy, an underlying energy that is in the ballpark of the story that I'm reading on. Shall we just say I'm treading as carefully as I possibly can in this reading. Situation we're dealing with. situation we're dealing with. There we got Three of Cups, and that's an interesting energy because, well, look at it. I mean, there's an older woman, a younger woman, very desirable younger woman, and a hand, and it's quite a male hand that's offering a cup. The three of them, and the three of them, of course, went on that freedom flight from Canada, Tyler Perry's jet, to California. Dôria around, Dôria very much present there. Dôria, a friend, a confidant even, maybe an advisor, and certainly a party energy in the Three of Cups. It's party central, the Three of Cups. Isn't that interesting? It's quite a seductive energy that younger woman has. I find that a fascinating card, energy-wise, don't you? So let's look at Harry and Doria's relationship from Doria's point of view. How is the relationship, first of all? How are they getting along? And we got the Seven of Swords. That's a bit of a difficult energy, the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is a running away energy, disappearing act, ghosting. It could be that she encouraged Harry to leave his known world and go into a much more challenging environment. He didn't realize it was going to be so challenging. California, thought it was going to be all surfing and partying and all the rest of it, Three of Cups. But the Seven of Swords is a very negative card in tarot because it has the energy of deception. I'm not saying she deceived him. It has the energy of cowardice is a better word, I think, and ghosting and disappearing, which is precisely what Harry did. He just left, and he left the royal family in the lurch. And as we have seen over the past 18 months or so, they have gone through some very difficult times, and they could have done with Harry around in his old guise, not the Harry that we have learnt to dislike rather intensely in some quarters now. But there it is, this energy of ghosting, disappearing, not being in the most honourable energy, shall we just say. Choosing my words as carefully as I possibly can, and this is of course my energy reading and my opinion. I asked there about their relationship. How does she view him? These two energies are almost interchangeable for me reading, so I'm kind of doubling up on the question. How does she view him? We've got the Eight of Swords, and it's in reverse. This is someone who's got himself into difficulty by the Seven of Swords action and wants to extricate himself now. It's a liberation, the Eight of Swords, when it's in reverse. So this Three of Cups energy of this enticing, alluring kind of an energy, almost facilitated possibly by that older woman, caught him. He wants out. Interesting. Didn't expect this to veer into this kind of dynamic, but that's why we do tarot. We try and find out what's going on behind the surface, beneath the surface, energy wise. And so that's Dôria. Now, as I say, Neil Sean has been told by a source that she allegedly films everything. So let's ask that question. Does she? We're testing the energy, of course. What do we have? We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. Oh, ow, ow, ow. That's a very bad card. A very bad card. It's a card of backstabbing, the Ten of Swords, and ruin. And I think I've said enough with those keywords, really. The card is in the reverse. I think super duper energy, extra energy there. So that's that question answered in a rather horrific way for me as an energy reader, and potentially for Harry. What has she captured? Allegedly. I think we need to throw some allegedlys on this fire immediately. What has she captured? Three of Swords. We've got some horrible, horrible, horrible cards on the table here. Swords are always tricky. And we have the 7, the 8, the 10, and the 3. And the 3 of Swords is a card of heartbreak and betrayal. 3 of Swords very often involves someone else. And can involve, I'm just saying in general, I'm not saying that this applies in particular to Harry. In general, the 3 of Swords can indicate some level of someone else involved in a relationship, a third party in a relationship, can have that kind of energy. So there is that energy hovering around. But the 3 of Swords is also just heartbreak. We've got betrayal and we've got heartbreak. That she's caught him. If this is true, this is reading energy, this is speculating now. If any of this is remotely true, she's caught him at his most vulnerable moments when he's been most hurt by whomever, whether it's Meghan or the royal family or his own behavior, at his most vulnerable, really worst moments. Harry and awareness of any of this. Any clue according to the source, Neil Sean's source? No idea. Let's ask. Death card. Death card is very, very bad endings. So I don't think he's not aware. I hope that made sense. Because the Death card is... it's like the 10 of Swords, and it's sitting next to the 10 of Swords. It is endings and brutal endings and ruin in that death energy. Having to almost, if you're stuck somewhere, those ghastly stories of people getting stuck climbing or whatever, and then having to saw off a limb to free themselves. I'm sorry it's such a grotesque image if you're at all squeamish, and I personally am very squeamish. But it's coming across as absolute devastation. And in order to save himself, he would have to really, it's going to cost him almost his life. I don't mean that literally, but in the sense of whatever is the thing that he most likes and he most wants to cling on to, and that could just be his ego and his sense of self and his tattered dignity, and it is very tattered at this moment. I think he knows. I personally think he knows that he's got himself now into a terrible predicament and he wants out. We've got the 8 of Swords in reverse on this tarot table already. So trust. Where is the trust now? Harry and Dôria, I'm asking if he trusts her. I've got the 2 of Swords in reverse. I would say not anymore. We have 2 twos in reverse on this tarot table. That partnership and the friendies that I think aren't so friendly anymore. And the 2 of Swords is a decision that has to be made that is ruinous, potentially. Extremely difficult decision that has to be made to extricate, to cut off. This has taken a very dark turn, this reading. It's been in the back of my mind for a while to do this reading. The moment hasn't felt right. It often happens with tarot, and sometimes the moment is never right, or the energy just fades away and we move on to other things. This little story has hovered, and it's reading for me as an energy reader. It's reading much worse than I thought it was going to, and particularly Harry's energy of the, shall we say, in my opinion, trap that he walked into through possibly substances and partying and that kind of stuff. S with an X as well, with that alluring, tantalizing female figure, the younger one, not the old one. and now has lived to rue the day. Really rue the day. My goodness. Quite stricken now. Is this ammunition as I think it was described, although I could be misremembering, and Megan herself has misremembered in a court of law, so I think I'm allowed to misremember things that I have seen on YouTube. So is this information, shall we call it rather, going to be used against Harry at any stage? I got the Page of Pentacles. That's a bargaining card. That's contractual. It's negotiations. That's deals. That's settlements. That's a divorce settlement. That's pay or else. It's not coming across as terrible, but it doesn't have to come across as terrible. We have terrible on the table already. How's it going to impact Harry? And of course, all allegedly, and my opinion, and wild speculation, and disclaimer in the box below. How's it going to impact Harry if any of this is used against him? Knight of Cups. It's quite a strange card, because it's a card of loyalty and devotion and almost like apologizing, and it gives me very Prince William energy, that if Harry finds himself in some kind of predicament, Prince William might be the one that has to rescue him somehow. But also, and I hate to say this, I really do hate to say it, it could be that people actually wind up feeling quite sorry for Harry. Knight of Cups. A figure of pity, sympathy. So, that's a bit of a surprise ending for a tarot reading. And of course, this is just a tarot reading. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.